In this video, I'm going to show you how to begin learning to play fingerstyle guitar. At the end of the video, I'll also share some tips with you to help you accelerate how quickly you learn. Learning to use our thumb and fingers independently can be pretty challenging. Every newborn baby, every person can use their thumb and fingers together, but separating them into doing different activities can be pretty challenging. So because of that, in this training, we're going to isolate the thumb to start with, and then we'll add the fingers in after that. So to begin, extend your hand like you're going to shake hands with somebody, then just lay that across the top of your guitar, across the strings. When you have your thumb and fingers in this position, it allows you to play down with your thumb while you're playing up with your fingers and have them not get all tangled up and bumping into each other. For the time being, we're going to just let our fingers rest on the top of the guitar, and we're going to put our thumb on string 6, and I'll push on string 6, push it toward the floor, and have it come to rest on the 5th string. Okay, and you want a nice round, even sound out of it. After you've learned to do that, we're going to skip string 5 and go to string 4. And we're going to repeat the same procedure. We'll put our thumb on string 4 and push it toward the floor and have it come to rest on string 3. Now when that feels smooth, comfortable, we're going to combine string 6 and string 4. We'll play string 6, then we'll play string 4. So practice doing that so that you're skipping over the 5th string. Your thumb may come in contact with it, but you're not sounding it. This is the beginning of playing what's called an alternating bass pattern. Now, I don't think going from the 6th string to the 4th string is a real musical sound. So for the rest of this training, let's grab an E chord, just first position E chord, okay? And we'll start that, and we'll find that this is a more musical sound. Okay, so when you can do that smoothly, we're going to go back to string 5 and play string 5 just like we have the others, pressing down toward the floor and having it come to rest on string 4. And when you can do that with string 5 comfortably, we're going to add string 4 in, and we'll have that alternating bass pattern. So when that's all comfortable and smooth, we're going to combine the 6/4 pattern and the 5/4 pattern. So you end up with this. Probably heard that kind of pattern in songs before. Now, sometimes letting a note ring out until it naturally fades is what the song calls for. But other times you're going to want a tighter, more focused low end. And you can do that, get that, by resting this part of your hand, called the palm heel, across strings 6, 5, and 4. It kind of mutes them. And then you leave strings 3, 2, and 1 open. Okay, so when you palm mute like that, you get this kind of percussive, what country players call a boom chick pattern. Okay, now if you want that boom chick pattern to be a little bit brighter and more percussive, you can use a thumb pick. And what a thumb pick does is just makes it a little bit brighter sounding. Now, there's not really a shortcut to getting comfortable with the thumb pick. For some people, will take to it right away. Others, it can be kind of odd feeling, alien feeling. So really the only trick is just to use it until you adapt to it. And humans are adaptable, so it shouldn't take long. Okay, so you're going to practice this until you can do it in your sleep, until the dog howls, until your significant other threatens to kick you out, and by that point, you'll have it down. Okay, so when you have the bass pattern down, we're going to go to using, bringing the fingers in. This is finger number 1, this is finger number 2, and this is finger number 3. So we're going to take our first finger and let it rest on the 3rd string, second finger on the 2nd string, and 3rd finger on the 1st string. Like that. Now you want to make sure that you're using the fingertips when you are plucking the strings. You don't want to use the pad of the finger, which is this part that's right under the fingernail. Because if you are to use the pad, you have to get your finger underneath the string, between the string and the guitar top, and then you end up pulling away from the top, and it bounces back against the fingerboard or the top. So, which can be a cool effect, but for regular playing, it's not such a great sound. So to start, take fingers 1, 2 on 3 on strings 3, 2, and 1, and just pluck with them. And the plucking motion is like you're closing your hand. You're not jerking away from the top. You're simply closing your hand, and your fingertips are brushing across the strings like that. Okay? So when that's comfortable and you feel like you're getting a good even sound out of all the strings, we're going to combine that with our thumb. And to start, we're going to place our thumb on string 6, and then we'll pluck strings 3, 2, and 1. Like that. Okay? And when that feels like a normal pattern, we're going to put in string 4. And we'll practice that a while until that feels normal. And after that feels like a natural action, we'll also begin to play strings 5 and 4 like this. So it's 6, 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. So it's really important to spend a lot of time on this because you want your thumb to kind of be on autopilot. Because the next thing we're going to do is start to use the fingers independently. And to do that, we're going to play strings 6 and 3 together. And when that's comfortable, we'll play 6 and 1 together in string 4. Like that. And when that's comfortable, we'll add in the 5-4 pattern. Now we're going to follow the same procedure on string 2. We'll play 6 and 2 together. And when that feels good, we'll play 6 and 2, then 4. And when that feels good, we'll throw in the 5-4 pattern too. So it'll be 6, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4. Okay, when you're comfortable doing that and your hands learned how to do that, we're going to go to string number 1 and we'll play 6 and 1 together. This is a little more challenging for some people because doing this kind of activity with the ring finger for a lot of people is kind of alien feeling. The third finger is not as strong. I guess we don't use it as much. But do that with 6 and 1, and then add in the fourth string. And then when that's going on, we're going to add in our 5/4 pattern too. So 6 1 4 5 1 4, like that. Okay, so when you've got the thumb, so it works well on its own, you've got the thumb and individual fingers working together, we're going to be ready to play a little more advanced pattern. So what we're going to do is play 6 and 3 together, then string 4, 5 and 2 together, and string 4, 6 and 1 together, and string 4, and 5 and 2 together again, and string 4. So it's going to create, when you do this sequence back to back to back with itself, you're going to get a rolling, flowing kind of sound, like that. Now you may be thinking, not every song is going to need that kind of bass pattern, and you're absolutely right. But the reason that I like to show people using this approach is I believe that it develops independence in your thumb at a faster rate than other approaches that I've seen and tried. The same is true with isolating individual fingers rather than just working on patterns. I believe it builds a connection between your brain and your individual fingers at a faster rate. A couple of things to help you sound more musical. One is let the first bass note that you play with your thumb be the root note for the chord that you're working out of. In other words, if you're playing an E chord like we have been, let that 6th string E note be the first note. If we were to start on the B, say, the string note on the 5th string, for starters, it still works, but it's kind of out of kilter sounding a little bit to me. The second thing I would suggest is experiment with keeping your 4th finger touching the top of the guitar. This some people call this posting, and it gives you a spatial reference to where the strings are in relation to your fingers, okay? Because you've got a fixed point that you're operating out of. The other approach that some people take, especially classically trained guitarists, is they'll let their hand kind of float if you're going to play that kind of approach, which isn't quite as rhythmic as some of the things that you'll encounter with using the boomchick pattern. That's a good application for the floating approach. I would suggest starting with posting first, then as your playing develops, you will probably start to use a floating technique also. I think most players end up using both. As far as speeding up how quickly you learn, my suggestion is to set up a practice schedule that will work with your schedule, but try to do it daily. If you can only spend 5 minutes a day working on this, it's far better to work on it for 5 minutes a day for 6 days a week than it is 30 minutes one day a week. Okay? The rest period between practice periods is accelerates how quickly you learn. Also, but the work period or practice period has to be pretty routine so that you develop a new habit and your brain's communicating with your fingers on what to do. I read an interesting paper about that, about how, the best approach for learning a new physical task, which I'll link to in the notes below. So I think that's it. I'd love to hear your comments as you try this and hear how you're coming along with it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to be notified when I do more videos, content like this, hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and you'll be notified when it starts. But until then, till the next video, good luck with your picking, and I'll see you then.